You know that feeling when you really want to grasp the big ideas? To properly get something complex without, like, spending weeks getting lost in research?
Yeah, like you're just craving that quick hit of clarity, that insight.
Exactly, that moment where it clicks. Well, that's pretty much what we do here on the Deep Dive. We take sources you might be curious about, and we really dig in for you.
You sort of pull out the core knowledge, the essential stuff, and try to lay it out so it makes sense and hopefully sticks.
And today, wow, we're tackling a big one, Carl Sagan's cosmic connection.
Oh yeah, a classic.
It's way more than just a science book, isn't it? It's this journey that stretches your mind, touches on everything from our tiny spot in the universe to that huge question, are we alone?
Sagan was just brilliant at connecting things, weaving together astronomy, the solar system, Earth, Mars, Venus, the stuff from Mariner 9,
Hmm.
with the really deep philosophical implications of looking for life out there.
So our mission, if you will, is simple. Find those knockout insights, the real aha moments from Sagan's work. Get ready, because, well, it might shift your perspective a bit. We're diving into the cosmic ocean.
Okay, so let's start with Sagan's main thrust, really. He wanted to give us a sense of cosmic perspective, like really feel it.
Feel small.
Kind of, yeah. I understand we're on this little rock around a pretty average star in a galaxy with billions of stars, and there are billions of galaxies.
Right. The immediate effect is humbling, to say the least. Suddenly, the traffic jam doesn't seem quite so cosmic.
Exactly. It deflates what he called our common conceits.
Yeah.
Our self-importance shrinks,
Makes you reevaluate things.
for sure. And the book's structure kind of follows that. Starts with a big cosmic view, then zooms into our solar system looking at Mars, what Mariner 9 showed us, how that informs our view of Earth too. And then he goes into the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Speculative, yes, but grounded in scientific possibility.
What always gets me about Sagan is how he pulls everything together. He's obviously an astronomer, but he's constantly looking at it through philosophical, social, even historical lenses.
That interdisciplinary thing is key, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes the science feel, well, relevant, not just facts and figures.
Totally. It underlines that exploring space isn't just about data points. It's about understanding our story, our place in the cosmos, and how that changes us. And he really stressed that the search for ET intelligence had kind of come of age.
Moving beyond sci-fi tropes.
Right, into actual rigorous scientific inquiry. You can feel his excitement about it. He even tells that story about the fortune cookie.
Oh, yeah. You will shortly be called upon to decipher an important message.
Talk about foreshadowing. Given the book, it's just perfect.
It really is.
So then, Sagan zooms right back in. How did life even start here on this planet? He talks about the building blocks, nucleic acids, proteins, how they could just assembled themselves in the early Earth's oceans and atmosphere.
And labs can mimic that now, right?
Some parts, yeah. It suggests the basic ingredients for life might not be some miracle. The universe might just do that.
It's kind of mind-boggling, those first steps. Molecules making copies of themselves, developing a code, the first flicker of biology.
And then, as those raw materials got used up, life had to get clever. That pressure led to this huge split. Things that make their own food, plants, and things that eat other things, animals.
A fundamental fork in the road.
Pretty much the basis for everything we see. And then evolution just takes over. Mutations, changing climate, competition.
It's messy.
Oh, definitely messy. But that's what drives the incredible variety of life. Sagan points out how many species have gone extinct. It's kind of stark. The secret of evolution is time and death.
Sobering.
Yeah, but essential. And intelligence, he argues, is basically an extension of that evolutionary drive, a way to gain more control over your environment.
From the simplest organism trying to find food to, well, us trying to understand black holes.
Exactly. It's a continuum. And he looks ahead, suggesting this convergence of biological evolution, maybe genetic engineering, partnership with AI. Who knows what kinds of intelligence could emerge?
That connects to his ideas about our circle of concern, doesn't it? How we slowly expanded who we identify with.
Right. From the tribe to the nation state. History shows our capacity for empathy can grow. But the insight is, has it grown fast enough, given our technology?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can we get to a truly global identity before we, mess things up permanently? It feels so urgent now.
It really does. And Sagan pushes it even further. If we can see our shared history as humans, stretching back billions of years, shouldn't we extend that recognition, that maybe respect, to all the other life forms on Earth? We're all products of the same long journey.
That's a tough one, though, because we have these deep tribal instincts, right? That gut reaction to difference. Sagan suggests those instincts might be obsolete now, even dangerous.
Yeah, he talks about that tension, our sort of primeval instincts versus our extragenetic learning, what culture and reason teach us. Often they're in conflict, especially when it comes to survival today.
Okay, switching gears slightly. The constellations. I love this part. He basically calls them a cosmic Rorschach test.
Huh, that's a good way to put it. Just random dots, and we have to make pictures, connect the dots, impose order.
And load them with myths.
Exactly. But the key insight is it's all about perspective. Those patterns aren't really flat pictures up there. The stars in, say, Orion, are at totally different distances from us.
It's a 3D reality we see projected onto a 2D dome.
Precisely. And if you could travel, like, to Alpha Centauri,
Our nearest neighbor.
right, you look back and our sun would just be another star, maybe popping up inside the constellation Cassiopeia.
Which totally changes how you see Cassiopeia, our familiar W shape.
It shows our cosmic landmarks are just ours, local. And the big takeaway from that is, just because our sun looks unremarkable from far away, doesn't mean there isn't life here.
Yeah, you can't judge a star system by its cover, basically.
You really can't. He mentions Project Ozma listening to Tau Ceti and imagines the totally different star patterns you'd see from a planet there. It hammers home that limited perspective idea.
Such a core theme for him.
Yeah.
And it leads perfectly into talking about the Pioneer 10 plaque. Humanity's first, actual message in a bottle tossed into the cosmic ocean.
An amazing artifact, isn't it? That gold anodized aluminum plate, designed to last billions of years, longer than anything else we've made.
Wow.
And the goal was ambitious.
Yeah.
Use the language of science to tell someone, somewhere, sometime, who we were, where we came from, and when we sent it. That's the key insight.
Yeah.
The sheer audacity and optimism of it.
And it's clever how they tried to do it, the hydrogen transition thing.
A hyperfine transition, yeah. Should be universal.
And binary code for the spacecraft size, and that pulsar map, like a galactic GPS.
An amazing piece of infographics, really, pinpointing our sun and the launch date using pulsars as cosmic clocks.
But Sagan also points out the tricky part, right? The drawings of the humans.
That's the wild card. For a truly alien species with a different evolution, different ways of seeing or representing things, our drawing conventions, our bodies, that could be the hardest part to figure out. Way harder than the science.
Which is funny, because back here on Earth, those figures caused the most fuss.
Oh, absolutely. You had some positive stuff like the Caltech graffiti, but then loads of criticism.
About the woman looking passive
Yeah.
and the lack of detail.
Exactly. The nudity, or lack thereof. Sagan explains they were thinking of Greek statues, and also, frankly, wanted to avoid controversy that might jeopardize the mission. Maybe they misjudged things a bit.
Especially when newspapers started censoring pictures of the plaque.
Right. The Philadelphia Inquirer blurring out nipples and genitalia. It fueled this whole narrative about NASA being prudish or censoring things. It became a bit of a mythology.
And then there were the more creative suggestions, cartoons of sex, sending bodies.
Yeah, some humorous takes. The Berkeley Barb had a pretty cutting satirical caption. Sagan also mentioned they tried for a kind of pan-racial look for the figures, but some of that got lost in the final engraving.
Even the simple wave caused worry, that it might look like a Nazi salute to aliens who'd picked up old TV shows.
Seems far-fetched now, but they were trying to think of everything. But ultimately, Sagan felt the plaque's real value wasn't just as a message out there, but as a message back here.
Making us think about ourselves.
Yeah, prompting that cosmic perspective again, our shared identity.
Okay, so thinking about messages out there leads to the question of who might receive them and how long civilizations like ours even last.
That's a huge factor in the Drake equation, right? The L term. The lifetime of a technological civilization. It's a massive unknown if advanced societies tend to, well, self-destruct quickly.
Then the chances of overlap of finding anyone else are pretty slim.
Exactly. The insight is that just having fancy tech isn't enough. You need social and political wisdom to survive long-term.
Which makes his idea of social mutations really interesting. These experiments in how we live, politically, economically.
He compares it to biology. Most mutations fail or are harmful, but occasionally you get one that provides a real advantage.
But he felt we weren't doing enough experimenting, that big powers kind of squash radical new ideas.
Yeah, he saw a discouragement of social experimentation, when maybe we should be encouraging it, learning from failures, seeing participants as, well, brave, testing potential futures.
And then there's the other big problem. We only know one kind of life, Life on Earth.
Our N1 problem.
Mm.
Everything here is related, shares the same basic biochemistry. So how do we know what's fundamental to life itself and what's just, an accident of Earth's history?
He called that bias chauvinism.
Right, carbon chauvinism, water chauvinism.
Mhm.
And he argued that just imagining different kinds of life is crucial. It forces us out of our box. Like his example of wheeled creatures on a smooth lava planet.
Evolution never produced wheels here, but maybe somewhere else.
Why not? The key idea is just how vast the possibilities might be. Don't assume alien life will look or work anything like us.
He even said if you reran evolution on Earth, you probably wouldn't get humans again.
The chances are incredibly slim, which makes finding humanoids out there even less likely. We also have biases about oxygen and temperature.
Life started here without oxygen, right?
Exactly. Oxygen was poison initially.
Uh-huh.
And there could be plenty of places like deep and gas giant atmospheres with comfortable temperatures and maybe different liquids playing the role water does here. Biochemistry adapts.
But he did make a strong case for carbon, didn't he? Its versatility.
Oh yeah, carbon's unique ability to form complex, stable molecules, plus it's incredibly common in the universe. Organic molecules are everywhere.
So it all adds up to this picture of a universe that's just way bigger, older, and stranger than we used to think.
The old safe and cozy view is gone. Copernicus kicked us out of the center. Darwin knocked us off the pedestal.
But Sagan finds something positive in that, right? A compensation.
Definitely. We lose our special status, but we gain this sense of deep connection to all other life on Earth, and connection to the cosmos itself because the atoms we're made of were forged in stars. That's profound.
That sense of awe. He even saw Mars as a kind of control experiment. What happens to a planet without big oceans? How does its atmosphere evolve differently?
It's all about gaining perspective. He talked about a philosophical hunger in people.
A need for meaning, for context?
I think so. Maybe why things like pseudoscience are popular? It's an attempt, maybe unsuccessful, to find that cosmic perspective. He saw things like the whole Earth catalog, even trends in art and music, tapping into that same hunger.
And the environmental movement definitely got a boost from seeing those first pictures of Earth from space.
That fragile blue marble,
Yeah.
it changed things. Feynman's quote about poets not writing about Jupiter. Sagan felt science offered amazing inspiration that maybe wasn't being fully tapped by the arts.
Although some people were let down by the moon landings initially. Just rocks.
Yeah, there was some of that. It highlights the need to communicate the significance of the science. But Sagan was clear. Public interest in cosmology, in alien life, is huge.
Why?
Way more newspaper space than for many other scientific discoveries.
Even if the average person imagines little green men, they're still fascinated by the idea of finding even microbes on Mars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He saw the search for life as maybe the key driver for public support of space exploration. And he put the cost in context. Compared to military spending, it's tiny.
He even had ideas about funding it through, like, entertainment. A Mars magazine, pay-per-view rovers.
Yeah, creative thinking. And his point about maybe involving the military, it's controversial, but the logic was about redirecting those powerful industrial and military interests towards exploration instead of conflict.
Given that Earth exploration was often military-led.
It's a historical parallel.
Hmm.
He saw space exploration as a potential honorable employment for those sectors, a grand, peaceful challenge.
Ultimately, he argued the cost is small potatoes compared to the potential return, scientifically, philosophically.
And he drew that amazing parallel to the Age of Discovery in Europe, how that era of exploration coincided with this incredible flourishing of arts, culture, science, a transformation of perspective. And we're living through something similar now.
He believes so. Our generation is the first to see planets as worlds, as places we are actively exploring. It's a unique moment. We're leaving the cradle, as Tsiolkovsky said.
It's part of growing up as a species, realizing you're not the center of everything.
That's a great way to put it. Just like an individual matures, maybe humanity matures by grasping its true place in the vastness.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into cosmic connection.
Yeah.
Wow, we've covered a lot. That sense of scale, our tiny place.
The incredible story of life's origin and evolution right here.
The huge implications of looking for life elsewhere, the plaque, the challenges.
And just the significance of this moment in history as we start really exploring.
Hopefully you've felt that shift in perspective Sagan was aiming for, understanding our cosmic address, seeing the connections, the possibilities. It's pretty powerful stuff. That human drive to explore, it's ancient, but it feels very alive right now. We really are in a pivotal time.
So that leaves us with a final thought for you to ponder, maybe. Thinking about everything Sagan laid out, that vast perspective, What do you think is the single most compelling question humanity should be asking right now about our place, our future out there among the stars?
Yeah. What's the big question that resonates most for you after all this? Something to chew on long after our deep dive finishes.